I don't know whether this is framed well, I don't know if I even know what I want to talk about today, but I'm here. Hi. I think the idea for this video today is to try to update you, I guess, on my life right now and what's been going on in the time that I've been out of YouTube and where my life is going from now. I tried to put on a cute outfit today. I've got a skirt and one of my new tops, which is out of my comfort zone, but it's cute. I don't know whether my background is good either, I just tried to make it semi-cute. I don't know what I'm doing with this YouTube thing, as you know, especially given the 3-month break. That's not how you grow your channel, Fiona. Jesus. 3 months? 5 months? I don't have a clue. It's just been a long time, is what I know. The big thing for the update, I suppose, it happened literally yesterday, but I left my job. I put my notice in at the pub I worked at a week ago, and I worked my last shift yesterday. That's crazy. To take it back to when I finished my degree, I was looking for graduate jobs for a while, and then no graduate jobs were really working out, so I was looking for sort of part-time or temporary work to do in the meantime while I figured out what I was doing with my life. Continued to apply for graduate jobs and stuff, and then I ended up landing a job in a pub as a server, and that was last November, if we ignore the 2 days I worked in the Sports Direct warehouse. That was last November, and I never expected to be working there for, must be about 10 months now. November up to just now, so like something like 10 months, I'm sure. You can do the maths. I can't be asked to do the maths even though I have a physics degree. So yeah, I never expected to be staying there for as long as I did. I guess, to put it as simply as I can, I started working there and I was at first continuing to look for graduate work, but then I think my mental health started taking a turn for the worse, up and down kind of, I guess, throughout working at the pub and, you know, through the busy period through Christmas, and then even in like post-Christmas into January, February, all the way up to lockdown really. I was really struggling in a lot of ways with my mental health. The job, as I've posted a couple of videos about before, didn't altogether help too much with that situation. I think I just found it really difficult handling, you know, the level of anxiety it gave me when the pub was busy. It felt really hard to, you know, feel obligated to go into work every time, even though I was waking up super depressed and I didn't want to do anything. Like, there's a couple of videos I think where I didn't get dressed until 3 PM or 3:30, like just before I was about to go to work, so like all I really did in the day was go to work 5 till whenever in the evening, and that was just starting to take its toll on me. I didn't cope well with the late nights. I wasn't really sleeping right. I think at times I was probably undersleeping because I'd get home sometimes around midnight and then, you know, not want to go to bed immediately because all I'd done all day was go to work, so I'd stay up and watch TV or YouTube videos, but then that means I wouldn't get to sleep until really late, but then I'd be waking up sometimes as late as like 1:45 and then not getting dressed because I couldn't be arsed, I didn't have the energy, until right before I'd have to go right back to work in the evening again. So it's kind of just a conveyor belt of feeling depressed and tired and not handling things very well. Like my self-harm on and off throughout, well, all of last year up to just before lockdown was, yeah, on and off quite bad. At least 4 out of 7 of the days a week throughout that time, obviously, give or take, I would be self-harming, and yeah, it just wasn't very good. I hadn't been in a good place, and obviously at times it was better than others, but it came to a point where the only thing that I really felt capable of doing was just trying to get myself into work and to have something to be doing every day so that I didn't crumble. But that meant that I didn't really feel like I had the energy to be looking for other jobs or looking for graduate work or even thinking about the future and what I wanted to do in the future, because I was just too depressed at times. I really was. The suicidal ideation that I'd been having sort of did teeter over into... I found this picture, I'll try and, if I can find it from when I saw it on Instagram. I think I teetered over from like just feeling like, well, I really kind of want to die, but I don't know, I don't think I will, I just feel like I want to, and I'm overwhelmed by thinking about how I might do it, how much I don't feel like I can go on anymore and keep doing everything I have to do in life. Flipped over from that into more of a like, I know I'm going to kill myself, like it's gonna happen. I don't know when and I don't know how, and yeah, it kind of felt like the only place that my life was going towards was me ending up dead, I guess. I never thought about really so much the seriousness of that, but it was really serious. I felt like the only future that I had was in dying as a result of my mental illness. Like I said, it comes in waves sometimes and it's not always severe as others, and you have maybe days or weeks, if I'm lucky, of feeling a little bit better and like it's not going to be that bad, maybe everything will be okay. But, you know, in varying severities, that was how it was. Yeah, and I didn't know how much longer I was going to be able to go on for. Obviously, it never got so bad that I, you know, went back to the doctors and got signed off work or anything. I kind of, for the most part, was feeling this way but kept it inside. I'd take it out on my body, and I think I posted the odd worrying thing on my close friends' Instagram stories. Like, I remember posting this one thing that was like, just so everybody knows, if I end up dying and if I end up killing myself, it is not because I don't love you all, and it's not because I don't care about you and want you and your life to be the best thing possible. I just don't feel like I am going to be able to keep going, and if it gets to that point, then just know that I love you and it wasn't because I don't care about you. Because the only thing at times that has kept me from going to that place and making another attempt on my life than the once that it has happened is because I am always just too consumed in how that would affect other people, and I don't ever want them to think I don't care about them. I don't ever want them to think that they don't matter to me. The last thing I ever want to do is hurt other people in any way, shape or form, not least from my own pain. You know, I didn't want to put that pain on other people, so that would be the only thing that ever stopped me. But there were times when I was like, okay, I genuinely felt like I needed to prepare other people for the possibility of this happening and let them know that I love them, and if it happened, it's not because I don't love them, you know? And I'm saying this so matter-of-factly because it was so normal and has been so normal throughout my life. Like, this has just been an on and off thing. Obviously there's only been like periods of time where it's been that bad, where I've, you know, really nearly things have happened again. But, you know, anyway, long story short, my mental health went through ups and downs throughout working at the pub, and sometimes the pub wasn't the best environment for me because it was stressful and I didn't like the late nights, and, you know, sometimes you encountered bad customers, or, you know, co-workers were having a bad day and it would just affect me, and not blaming anyone here, but sometimes it wasn't the best for me. But I didn't feel able to make any moves to leave there because I was too focused on just trying to get through every day as it came, because, you know, that was all I was able to do. I wasn't really able to do anything else but survive. And then Corona started coming around, and I wasn't really processing any of that. I was just taking each day, day by day, and, you know, reading up on the news and the advice and trying to adhere to it as much as possible. And then very quickly, from like most of the news coming out about it coming into the UK, and then, you know, like a week or so went by, or 2 weeks at most, and then my job had to shut down and the country was in lockdown. And ultimately, I know this is probably like a weird thing to say, but I think lockdown for me was a blessing in disguise. I kind of took those months off, you know, forced to be inside and take the rest and take the time to heal. And it was kind of, I think it was good for me, honestly. For that time, I never once hurt myself. I was on my meds properly. That's another thing that kind of was happening, you know, like before Christmas, and I think sometime after Christmas as well. Before I got back on my meds properly, I just stopped taking them because I didn't care about myself anymore and I didn't want to try. But sometime before lockdown, I'd just gotten back on my meds properly and was like getting myself used to it again, getting more stable, like I say, not self-harming, not feeling in such a scary mental place. I had other issues, like I got quite, I don't know how to pronounce this word, but agoraphobic, where you're afraid to leave the house. Obviously everyone was probably afraid to leave the house, but I meant more in the sense that I didn't even go on my garden and be outside for 3 weeks straight. I stayed in the house for an entire 3 weeks. Like I didn't even go outside to stand on the garden. The first time I went outside to stand on the garden just felt really freaky. It was really weird for me. But you know, eventually throughout lockdown I went on walks with my family like once or twice, and then towards the end of lockdown I moved in with my boyfriend and my friends from uni for a few weeks. And obviously, like, I went to move there for that time and we adhered to all the rules in that time period. Obviously I know maybe it wasn't maybe the wisest thing would have been to just stay in my regular family household and not do that and be with different people, but I went to move there and we just continued as with COVID as normal. Like we didn't, if we met any other friends from uni outside of that household, then we kept 6 meters apart, 6 meters apart, 2 meters apart, 6 feet, whatever it is. We stayed away from them and it was fine. But doing that got me used to being around different people again, so that freaked me out less. And, you know, Adam forced me to go on walks with him, and we went to the shops obviously because we'd need food and alcohol and stuff. So it just got me slowly used to being around people again towards the end of lockdown before work came back. So throughout all that time I was furloughed, which was good. I feel very, very lucky to have been in a position where I was still getting money in whilst not being able to work at all. But yeah, after those 3 weeks in Canley with my old uni friends, I came back, and within a week or so the pub reopened. And at first it was, you know, the whole corona situation meant that we had reduced tables and there was increased cleaning. You know, it was all very, like, it was scary, and I was very, very anxious in the first few shifts because I just didn't know what to expect or how to, you know, process everything being new and different. But, you know, we put in as many measures as possible to keep everyone safe whilst being open. So that was good for a while. It wasn't that bad at all. But then, as you may know, in this country we had the government Eat Out to Help Out scheme, which meant that everything, I think, was 50% off in August. And that was hard, to say the least. At that point, all of the measures that we'd put in place, like keeping people several tables apart, was like they were only maybe 1 table apart. Like we increased from like 16 tables up to, we usually have like 40, so maybe it was down to like up to like 30 odd tables, so the tables doubled. It's probably not the most interesting part of the story, but more tables means more customers, which means more stuff to do. and more stuff to manage in a pandemic, in a pub with people that get drunk and don't follow the rules so much, and you're rushing around trying to get things done, so maybe there's like, you're lapsing on the cleaning here and there a bit because you just don't have time to manage everything. And sometimes the kitchen staff would get really stressed and they would take it out on us as servers. It was just a little bit of a shit show for the service industry at the time. I'm sure if you know anyone who's worked in a pub or restaurant or whatever through the Eat Out to Help Out scheme, they will probably tell you that it was difficult. So that was something that more so was like getting me towards thinking, okay, this is too difficult, I can't cope with it very well when the business is busy and thriving, because it makes me really anxious, and then being anxious makes me start to feel depressed because I'm like, well, I can't do my job properly, and what if I can't do any job properly because anxiety will be too much, and blah 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 blah, getting down on myself. So I thought I started more then thinking, you know, I'm gonna have to leave this job soon because it isn't right for me. And I think, probably long story short as well, like my mental health, like I said, throughout lockdown had improved a lot. I made it to 100 days clean and then 150 days clean from self-harm, which is amazing. I'm proud of myself for that. And it's sort of, you know, the healing time that I'd taken to just be by myself more and think about life and what I wanted, you know, opened my mind up to there being a future. And eventually that meant that I applied for a place to do a master's, which is going to start in less than a week, I think. I have my bachelor's, if you don't know, in physics, which I graduated in a year ago, so I've had like a year out, I guess, doing this pub job to, you know, go through mental health crises and then start healing again and figure my life out a little bit more. And now I, you know, applied for and then got the place on this psychology master's, so it's like a conversion course that I'll be studying part-time in 2 or 3 years. And then, you know, once I get established on this course, I'm planning to get part-time work to do alongside that. So that's kind of like my future now. I'm gonna do a psychology master's for a few years and then, you know, figure out from there where my life's gonna go. You know, it's hopefully gonna be a new career path, which beforehand I just didn't see where I was going. I didn't particularly want to go into physics research or further physics study, or the graduate jobs that were available to physicists. Even though there's a lot of them, you can get a wide range of careers out of doing a physics degree. It's not like my choices were really limited, but none of it was working out in all the applications I was applying for, and none of the jobs were really that exciting to me. So this just feels like a new fresh opportunity and a new path to take me on that like is opening up my future again, whereas before I was just feeling really trapped in a zone where I didn't know what to do, and anything that was available to me to do, just I didn't feel like it was going to bring me happiness and feel fulfilling, and you know what I mean? Like it didn't feel right, and I felt trapped and sad and restricted. But now, hopefully, there's a light at the end of the tunnel, and provided everything is going to go well with this master's course, I'm beginning to feel like there's a future for me, which is amazing because it's been difficult to feel that way for a while now, and things aren't sunshine and rainbows. Like, to be real with you, I made it to 150 days clean, and then I had a small relapse a few weeks ago, so I'm no longer on that longer streak, but I know that I'm in a better place generally. Like, just because that's happened doesn't mean that all the progress I've made has been magically erased. I'm still doing so much better now, and you know, I've left the job that was being a strain on my mental health, to be real. I'm already feeling sad and like I'm gonna miss everyone there so much. It wasn't about the people. I loved my co-workers. Shout out to Alana, Amelia, Vit, Ian, Sam, Rihanna, Amber, Bailey, Mackenzie, Devon, Lindsay. I doubt many of you will watch this, if any of you, probably none of you, but if you do, I love you, and I did not leave that job because of any difficulties with any of you. Like, I want you all to be friends forever, if possible. So if I don't come back to work there when I've got established on my course, you know, I still want to be in your life if you'll let me, because I love you. The job, long story short, didn't suit me too well. And maybe that was because I just had a difficult time with my mental health, and maybe, you know, space away from the place will calm everything down and refresh everything, and maybe going back would be perfectly fine for me to handle. But for now, this is just what I need to do, and that's the bottom line. And hopefully it's gonna be good, and there's just new hope for the future. Life is complicated and weird, and a lot has happened in the world right now, and it can be difficult to deal with at times, but you know, it does get better, it really does. When I think about the places that I've been in, I just want to shake past Fionn and be like, I know this is hard and I know you don't want to keep going, but just hang in there. It will feel more okay again. It won't be perfect. I don't know if I'll ever be perfect, but it's gonna be more okay again. Don't you worry. I don't know if I have anything else to say. Nothing as deep and, you know, like big life-changey as that. But if I stay on YouTube for a while, then you'll get more updates as other things happen. But yeah, my mental health is in a better place. I'm gonna start a new uni course. I left my job. I have really good people in my life right now. The other odd, insignificant, really, things that I would have to say are, you know, I bought a Switch, which meant that I played excessive Animal Crossing, which got me through lockdown. I got out my old paint stuff, and I've painted a couple things, and they're not too awful. My sister wants to put one of them up in her room, which is cool. Which meant that eventually I've now bought new paint stuff, so that I don't have to use like shitty old brushes and dried up tubes of paint. So I'm gonna try to paint more. I've almost finished another book again, which, if you know mental illness and you've had it, or you know someone who's had it, it can be very difficult to focus on a book when you've been struggling for a while. So the fact that I'm nearly finished with this book is amazing. I kind of want to make a video on it. If you'd be interested in me talking a little bit more maybe about true crime cases, I know there's like a ton of people that already do stuff like that, and maybe there'd be no place for another person who, you know, why would you care to watch anything that I would have to say when you've got all of them? But I don't know, it'd be interesting. And I'm just reading a whole book on someone that killed potentially over 200 people in the UK. So I feel like when I finish that book, it'd be really cool to talk about it with you guys. But, you know, just let me know if you'd want that, because that'd be cool. I bought a Polaroid camera, if you can't see it back there, which is cute. Maybe that's it. Maybe that's all I have to say. I said a lot though, in fairness to me. I just always feel like I'm forgetting something. Do you ever get that feeling? I get that feeling all the time. I'm sure I covered it, and if I didn't, there'll be more videos, and there'll be more posts on social media. If you follow those, go do it. I mean, I don't know if you care to see more of my face or my opinions, but it's on there. Yeah, I think I'll round the video up then. Please let me know what you thought. I don't know if you care about me in my life, but it's there if you do. I find it interesting to see what my YouTube people that I watch, how their lives are going, so I enjoy update videos in that sense, and I don't know whether you care to see. I'm just small and insignificant, just a random bitch from England who has a weird life and a weird brain, and do you care? I don't know, but it's there if you do, and I hope you liked it. And if you do like the video, comment on the video, subscribe to my channel for more videos if you want to see more of my face and my opinions, and anything of the shenanigans that I get up to, and I love you. Please stay safe, look after yourself, breathe, even if it's been a bad day or a week or a month or a year. It's gonna be okay, just hang in there and things will get better, I promise. That's not just like some stupid YouTuber giving you a fake promise that cannot be fulfilled on. It will get better. It really will. Okay, goodbye.